how much water are we supposed to be drinking? Now, like, human beings are very good at ignoring the signals like hunger and thirst that come from the body. So when we're super busy or in the middle of something, it can be a good idea to just be in the habit of having a cup of water on the side. I've got this that I have in my car so that if you've got a deadline coming up, if you're on a long drive, or if you're reading a book and you're super into the book, or you're doing some really concentrated work, that can help you to not get so locked into what you're doing that you forget that you're even thirsty. But how much water should you have? Like, some people say, oh, it's 8 glasses, or it's for every unit of body weight. All of these recommendations for how much to drink are based on averages. And in the real world, they can fluctuate so much because your body temperature changes, the amount of activity that you're engaged in changes. And so the amount of water your body needs is changing on a second by second basis. And you're always sweating. So even if you're not having water coming out of your face, sweat is actually evaporating straight off and turning straight into gas off your skin. And so water is escaping your body at different rates at all times, unless you're like very, very cold. So the amount of water that is in your body already is going to dictate how much water you need to take in to replace what's leaving and how quickly it's leaving your body at its natural rate that it comes out. So my rule is, if you're thirsty, it's probably already too late. So you want to drink so that you don't get thirsty. So what that means is, when you're doing a workout, it's probably a good idea to just be drinking as you do the workout. I try and get through this entire bottle during my workout. And then that means that the amount of extra sweat that I'm sweating off because my body temperature is higher just because I'm doing more work is being replaced by this. And I do that in between sets, whether I feel thirsty or not. And then my other rule is, if I'm going for a wee and my urine looks like apple juice, I've probably not drunk enough water. But if I'm going for a wee and my urine looks like just plain water, then I'm probably drinking too much. So you want your wee to come out looking like weak squash. Put a bit of cordial in the bottom, and it's sort of got a little bit of a yellowish tinge to it, but it's not like you can't see through it, it's that dark. So a light coloured urine. But by the time you're going for a wee, it's probably too late. So in general, just have some water around with you, but don't sweat too much about it, pun intended, about how much water you get, because often when people make recommendations for water, they forget that there's water in food as well. So all the food you eat contributes to the total amount of water you should be having. And every drink you have, if you have a cup of tea, that's all water. If you have just some orange juice, that's got water in it as well. So trying to say, oh, you need this many glasses of just pure water, you're probably overdoing it if you're thinking in those terms. So my measurement is thirst. If you're finding yourself going, oh, I need a drink, you're probably not drinking enough water. If you're not feeling that way, you're probably fine. If you're having 2 or 3 cups of tea, if you're having a drink with your meals, if you're eating food that's not just like dry crackers, you're probably getting in enough water. And then if you carry around a water bottle when you're especially busy and when you're doing your workout, that's a good thing to do so that you don't end up ignoring those signals of thirst. Now, where this differs is, if I'm trying to encourage someone to lose weight, and that means taking in fewer calories, you might just want to overdo the water a little bit and overdo the amount that you're drinking in non-caloric drinks. So not just Coca-Cola and like milkshakes. Drinking water, and even like sparkling water, can be really helpful for filling up your stomach with stuff that isn't high calorie foods, giving you something to put into your mouth that isn't just more biscuits. And also, you're going to end up walking to the toilet 3 or 4 times more than you would have if you weren't drinking so much water. So not only does it fill your stomach up and reduce the amount of food, it also increases your steps, which increases your total calorie burn because you're taking so many trips to the toilet. So unless you're on a fat loss thing, if you keep your water bottle with you when you're especially busy and when you're doing your workouts, the rest of the time you're probably getting in enough to drink. The lagging indicator on that is if your urine is coming out looking like weak squash, you're getting the right amount. If your urine's coming out super pale or super dark, you need to adjust. So that's how much water you should be drinking. And remember, the answer to every question is stop asking questions until you started doing things in the real world. If you have any questions for me about this kind of stuff, feel free to send me a message or leave a comment, and I'll answer in one of these posts. See ya!